There comes a time in every person's life when the burdens of the mind grow too heavy to carry, not because we are weak, not because we lack ability, but because we have forgotten a truth, a powerful, simple truth, one that was placed in our soul long before we could speak, one that can unlock the chains around your mind if only you dare to believe it again. This truth, my friend, is that you were not made to carry everything. You were not made to figure it all out on your own. You were not made to please everyone. You were not made to run faster than your soul can go. Mental exhaustion is not the result of too many problems. It is the result of forgetting who you are, whose you are, and what truly matters. We exhaust ourselves when we live in opposition to our design, when we trade rest for worry, when we swap focus for distraction, when we chase validation over truth. You see, your mind was built to create, not to crumble under pressure. It was built to imagine, not to entertain fear all day. But we let the world convince us that unless we are always doing, always winning, always performing, we are falling behind. And that is the great lie. That is the poison that creeps into your thoughts like a thief in the night. And it steals your peace, one anxious thought at a time, one worry, one doubt, one comparison, until the mind, once fertile with ideas and faith and possibilities, becomes a battlefield of fatigue. But let me remind you, you are not your thoughts. You are not your stress. You are not your failures nor your fears. You are a soul with divine power, placed here with purpose. And when you align your mind with truth, you find rest, not the kind that comes from sleep, but rest for your spirit. You see, the mind needs more than silence. It needs direction. It needs a mission. It needs something higher to submit to. And that higher power, that truth, is what frees you. Not information, not motivation, but truth. A truth that says, I am enough. I have all that I need. I am guided. I am protected. I am chosen. And I refuse to let the chaos of the world become the chaos of my soul. Mental exhaustion comes when the mind is unguarded, when we allow every voice to speak into our spirit, every notification, every headline, every critic, every memory, every whisper of doubt. You were never meant to entertain everything. You were meant to guard your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Great men and women of history were not the ones who avoided adversity. They were the ones who mastered the inner game. They silenced the noise. They heard the voice of purpose louder than the voice of panic. They made a decision that their energy was sacred, that their mind was a temple, that they could not afford to waste another day in the prison of anxiety. It starts with a decision to let go. Let go of control. Let go of perfection. Let go of fear. Let go of the need to have all the answers right now. You see, mental exhaustion is the effect, but the cause is resistance. You are resisting the flow of life. You are resisting the pace of grace. You are resisting the seasons. You are demanding answers in a time when you are meant to trust. And trust is the great cure. Not trust in outcomes, but trust in order. Trust that there is a time for everything, that not every door has to open today, that not every problem has to be solved this hour, that sometimes peace comes not by solving, but by surrendering. Let go. Say it with me. Let go. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's maturity. That's the power that most people will never know, the power of surrender. The power of saying, I am not going to carry what does not belong to me. The power of setting boundaries. The power of choosing peace over pride. The power of choosing stillness over speed. Mental exhaustion cannot stay where truth is present, because truth is light, and light exposes the lie. You've been thinking that you're behind. That's a lie. You've been thinking that you're alone. That's a lie. You've been thinking that you have to do everything. That's a lie. You've been thinking that if you stop now, you'll lose everything. That's a lie. The truth is, you are being carried. The truth is, you have divine timing on your side. The truth is, rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. The truth is, you have permission to pause, to breathe, to listen, to stop running, to be human. You must realize something now. The enemy of your soul isn't trying to kill you with pain. He's trying to kill you with pressure. Quiet pressure. Invisible pressure. The pressure to be more, do more, achieve more. share more, post more, work more. But pressure is not your purpose. And when you chase pressure, you lose presence. And presence is where life happens. Not in yesterday, not in tomorrow. Right here, right now. This moment, this breath, this decision. That is where your power is. You see, the key to freedom from exhaustion is not to try harder. It is to think higher. Lift your thoughts. Elevate your focus. Replace the thought of, what if I fail? With, what if this is all happening for me? Replace the thought of, I'm not enough, with, I am exactly what this moment needs. Replace the thought of, I must keep going or I'll lose everything, with, I trust divine timing to bring me what is mine. You don't need more caffeine. You don't need more hustle. You don't need another planner. You need clarity. Clarity on who you are. Clarity on where you're going. Clarity on who you're listening to. Most of all, clarity on what matters. And I'll tell you what matters. Peace matters. Joy matters. Purpose matters. Faith matters. Family matters. Rest matters. Let the rest go. Let the expectations go. Let the comparison go. Let the guilt go. Let the pressure go. Let the fear of missing out go. Let the illusion of control go. And return to your center. The part of you that never left. The part of you that is still calm, still strong, still faithful, still enough. That's who you really are. And that's where your energy is. You don't have an energy problem. You have an alignment problem. You've been pouring energy into things that don't build you, thoughts that don't serve you, conversations that don't uplift you, worries that don't belong to you. You've been trying to be everything. And that's why you feel like nothing. You were never called to be everything. You were called to be true, to be faithful, to be focused, to be available for what is yours, to be in flow with the season God has you in. And no season requires burnout. No divine mission includes anxiety as a requirement. That's man's invention, not God's intention. The truth will free you, but only if you allow it to replace the lie. Only if you believe it more than your fear. Only if you stop agreeing with exhaustion and start agreeing with wisdom. You have the power to reclaim your peace right now. Not when everything is done. Not when everyone is happy. Not when all the money is made. Now. Here, in this moment, you are free because you know the truth. And the truth is, you are not alone. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are awakening. You are being guided. You are being protected. You are enough, and when that truth lives in your spirit, exhaustion has no place to rest. You were not put here to chase your worth. You were born with it. You don't need a title to be powerful. You don't need applause to be valuable. And you don't need constant movement to prove that you are progressing. Growth is not always loud. Progress is not always visible. Sometimes your greatest victories are internal. Invisible to the world, but undeniable in your soul. But you must learn to stop fighting battles that are not yours. That's where so much of the fatigue comes from. Worrying about things outside your control, obsessing over people's opinions, trying to fix everyone else while your own spirit is running dry. You are not responsible for carrying the weight of the world. Just your part in it. And that part becomes light when you stop dragging around everything that was never yours to begin with. You were not called to live life on edge. You were called to stand on the rock of truth. And the truth says you can rest without guilt. You can pause without losing momentum. You can say no without apology. You can take your hands off what's breaking you and still be blessed. Mental exhaustion isn't proof that you're doing great things. It's a warning sign that you've drifted away from your anchor. And the longer you ignore it, the deeper you sink into a fog that steals your creativity, your clarity, your fire. Not because you're weak, but because you've been too strong for too long without refueling your soul. The strongest thing you can do is stop. Yes, stop. Stop long enough to feel again, to listen again, to breathe again. Your body is tired because your mind has been running marathons through fear, doubt, expectations, and illusions. But the finish line doesn't exist out there. It's in the moment you decide to come back home to yourself. You see, your freedom was never stolen. It was surrendered. Surrendered every time you agreed with fear. Every time you said yes when your spirit whispered no. Every time you stayed in motion to avoid stillness. But it can be reclaimed, not by force, not by effort, but by awareness. You must become aware of the lie. And once you see it, you must confront it. You do not owe anyone your burnout. You do not owe the world your constant availability. You do not owe your past a lifetime of proving. You do not owe your future an anxious mind. What you do owe is this present moment, your full presence, your whole self. And how often do we cheat this moment? How often are we here? But not really. Minds drifting to what didn't happen yesterday, or what might happen tomorrow. Our focus shattered across 10 different screens, 1,000 imagined scenarios, a million fears that never become real. We are everywhere except here. And that is the secret most people miss. Peace is only available here. Not in the future, not in the past, not in some perfect version of your life, but here. In your breath, in your heartbeat, in the sacredness of now. And if you can't find peace here, you won't find it there, because peace is not a place, it's a decision. You can decide right now, I am no longer available for mental clutter. I am no longer available for lies that tell me I'm not doing enough. I am no longer available for fear-based urgency. I am available for clarity, for wisdom, for peace, for deep rest that renews my mind and reawakens my spirit. There is something sacred about stillness. It is not laziness. It is not retreat. It is realignment. Stillness is where you hear the whisper that says, you are guided. Stillness is where wisdom returns, where creativity returns, where joy remembers how to knock on the door of your mind. But many will miss it because they're addicted to motion, addicted to noise, addicted to the illusion that busy equals progress. They run and run and run and arrive nowhere, wondering why they feel empty. They chase results without ever asking, why am I chasing this? And that's the moment of awakening. When you ask the question underneath the action, why? Why am I doing this? Who told me I had to do it this way? Why am I so afraid to rest? What belief is driving me to prove myself in this way? When you stop asking, what should I do? And begin asking, what is driving me to do it? You step into power, because awareness is freedom. And when you become aware that half your energy is going to worry, half your peace is being traded for people, pleasing, and half your mind is focused on problems that don't even exist yet, you start to reclaim yourself. You start to realize, I don't need more hours in the day. I need more power in my thoughts. I need to withdraw from the chaos and invest in clarity. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your explanation. Not every opportunity deserves your yes. And not every thought deserves your belief. You have the right to choose what enters your mind. You are not at the mercy of every thought that knocks. You can say, no, that's not true. No, that's not mine. No, I don't accept that. That's the strength that sets you free. Not the strength to push harder, but the strength to pull back. The strength to slow down when the world demands you speed up. The strength to retreat and recover. The strength to walk away when the cost is your soul. There is no glory in exhaustion. There is no badge of honor for burnout. There is no trophy for running yourself into the ground. What there is a calling, a deeper calling, a higher invitation to a different kind of life. One built on truth, not tension. One built on trust, not trauma. You must decide what kind of life you want. And when you do, you must protect it. Not just with time and plans, but with thoughts and boundaries. You must become the guardian of your mind, because no one else will do it for you. And the world will always offer more than you were meant to carry. That is why you must return, not to what the world told you, but to what your soul knows. And your soul knows this: you were never created to live burned out. You were created to live lit up by truth, by peace, by purpose. And that truth is what begins to break the chains, one thought at a time. So now the truth stands before you not as a whisper, not as a suggestion, but as a command, a divine instruction to rise out of the fog of exhaustion and step into the clarity of who you really are. The world will continue to spin with its demands. The voices will keep shouting. The race will never end unless you choose to step out of it. But if you walk in truth, if you make the courageous decision to align your mind with what is eternal and not what is urgent. You will find what they said was impossible. Peace in the middle of pressure, clarity in the middle of chaos, and rest in the middle of responsibility. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. This is not retreat. This is realignment. This is you, returning to your power, your purpose, and your peace. You are not tired because you're broken. You are tired because you've been battling without your sword. And that sword is the truth. Carry it, speak it, live by it. And watch how quickly the chains of mental exhaustion fall at your feet, because the truth will not just set you free, it will make you whole.